What we will be looking at in this presentation is the use of the E plus E format, as well as using illustrations in the body of the paper. As explained, the academic paragraph should begin with an introduction to the content that's going to be covered in the rest of the paragraph. Now, usually we call this the topic sentence, but it might be a combination of sentences that identify the two aspects of the paragraph content. This would be the key idea for the paragraph, or sometimes we have a section of 2 or 3 paragraphs for this particular section, and they will all focus on that same thing. So, for example, if the beginning introduces a key idea of bone density and the function of calcium, then that would be the topic sentence that would be used for this particular paragraph. The rest of the discussion on the rest of the paper, rest of the paragraph, or the paragraphs to follow, then, is limited to only the discussion of bone density and the function of calcium. So if we were going to talk about other things such as genetics and bone density, that would have to come in a different section or in a different paragraph that would have its own topic sentence for the key idea. So after the topic sentence has been stated, then we begin to put the support. So in this case, we have the first E of the E plus E format, which would be the example or some piece of evidence that's being presented. Now, this could be a direct quote, such as we have here. This is a direct quote that was used as an example, and we see it's been cited. It came from some study that was done by this person, by a group of people there. Once we have now done that, what we want to do is we want to provide the second E, which is going to be the explanation. So we provide the explanation that explains and lets the readers know what is it that we want to stress, and what does this mean, the commentary about the particular example that was put there. Typically what we might do then is we would have a second example. So we have the second example of the first E, the evidence that we've wanted to use, and we can see that this is then done in the form of a paraphrase. So we have a paraphrase here that we see here expressed as a paraphrase, so it doesn't. However, only the first part of this is in paraphrase form. We see that it does end with the quote at the end here, which then does end with this quote here at the end, which does need to be in quotations. So this is a combination of a paraphrase and a quote that came from this source from O'Connor. Once this has been cited, then we move on to a discussion of the meaning of this particular example and how it applies to the point that's being made here about the function of calcium and bone density. When we get to the end, then what we need to do is we need to tie together, if we've used 2 or more examples, we tie together how these examples then help to support the point that we're trying to make in this particular paragraph.